If we can get a repeat of what happened yesterday, yes, I'll sit right here.
Let it be repeated every day.
Yeah.
Your mind will change.
Yep.
Did you tell Girish what you noticed?
I'm sorry?
Girish, did you tell him what you noticed with the tones?
Yeah, when we were doing the humming,
Yeah.
at one point I became aware that there were three of us humming in a perfect major chord.
Ah,
I just was noticed. And then that kind of morphed into a minor chord, and then I don't remember anything after that.
after that, the mind
Yeah.
was transcended. That is what?
I don't know what I need, to be honest.
Okay.
Whatever
I'm
you recommend.
gonna get you a little bit more comfortable, Jason.
Get him a little lounger.
I am. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna make him a little bit of more of a shit.
How you can be comfortable.
Here's
Find
some
out.
boxes straight.
If you feel, Jason, you can be comfortable here, you can come here. I will go there.
Jason, I'm gonna set you up with one more little thing here.
So,
So you can lean back.
No, we just looked at it.
Hold on, let me grab you. There's more stuff we can grab. We can grab some stoppers. So you don't totally roll away. Oh, I got everything. I see lots of different people. Is that gonna stick?
Maybe it'll grow, we'll do it.
Bring your partner.
Which
Another
part?
partner?
Which partner?
Oh, Pat.
Pep?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
out shopping. His wife's with him, so they're gonna go buy dumb things to take back to Mexico.
No, they're not. They're buying happiness.
You're buying.
Well, that's what she will say. You ask.
Fear of the future, regret.
huh? Future?
Fear of the future, regret of the past.
Oh, fear of the future. Do we have future?
Not right now. It's out there. Somewhere.
If you prove that we have a future, I will stop teaching.
I guess. Be present here.
Tomorrow?
There's no
Tomorrow is the future.
There's only today.
There is only today.
Right.
We don't have a choice in the past, we don't have a choice in the future. We can only take action in the present. Can you take action in tomorrow? In the past, no. But you opened up a very good topic, I will cover that. It is relating to the mind. Oh, it's the mind. Past, present, future. But when Lara will say, then only I will speak. You know. I follow orders.
Oh, you can start. We'll go ahead and
I can
start.
start.
Yeah.
Thank you. I follow the orders.
The camera started.
Camera is
Yeah.
so. Yesterday, briefly, what we covered is the Eastern wisdom. You can say the Eastern wisdom, Eastern tradition. And we understood that Eastern wisdom, that includes yoga, tantra, relaxation, mindfulness, meditation practices, more than 52 groups of practices. That Eastern wisdom is fundamentally an instrument of knowledge. Sense organs, instrument of knowledge by which I can see you and you can see me, I can hear you, you can hear. You know, sense organs are the instruments of knowledge to see the word of name and form. Word of name and form. And the mind is also an instrument of knowledge. Through the structure of thought, we understand deeply the material world outside. Yeah? How can I know you? It is a structure of thought. Your name, your shape, your color, your profession, your job, all comes under the structure of thought. Yeah? Thought. Through the thought, name and the form. So these are the two instruments of knowledge by which we understand the outer external world, the world that is outside of me. Right? That includes my body, mind. But what is this instruments of Eastern wisdom by which I know who am I? What is my true nature? That is the first thing that we covered. Second thing, the master says that this true nature, which is known as self, so this self is also known as Sat Chit Anand. I'll translate. Keep a smile on the face. Don't worry. I'll explain everything.
It's normal for me.
That's a normal.
Okay.
So it is Sat Chit Anand. You know, it is explained in 3 words, but they represent only one entity, that is pure consciousness. The moment we use the word pure consciousness, we are referring to our true nature, true self. So it was given the 3 words: absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. So existence is consciousness and ananda, the bliss. Consciousness is existence and ananda. And ananda is also existence and the consciousness, even though we talk in terms for the sake of understanding, through the language. Otherwise it is one entity. That is why I say self. Now the master says that to realize the self, to awaken to that self, to know the self, is the subject matter of meditation, mindfulness, and awakening. Now if I know my true nature, where it is located deeper inside me, so, and that is of the nature of continuous permanent state of happiness. But I meet contradictions in my daily life. If it is within me, then why I don't live in Ananda? Why I don't live in freedom? Why I live in fear? Your question, why I live in fear? So the master says it is because I identify myself with what I am not. So I gave a couple of examples. Look at this guy who died, and so you guys will say he passed away, but body is still there. So it means we are not the body. We are something different than the body. Now, don't go what you have already read. You have read, and still that knowledge is incomplete. Soul and spirit. No, we are not going there. Yes, we are not going there. But one thing is clear, that we are not the body. Because body is there, every organ is intact. So why we say it is dead? We express someone has passed away. Who is that passed away? Discovered by the Eastern wisdom. Masters say it is the self, it is our true nature. So as long as I identify myself with the body, the mind, intellect, ego, I will continue to suffer. I will continue to have pain and afflictions, problems, worries, identifying myself. So there are 2 levels of identification. First level of identification, first I am the body. For all practical purposes. Or have you reached here? Yes. Looking at the body, you say, I have reached. But I am not the body. I am not the body. I am not the body. Once I identify myself that I am the body, then the second level of identification comes. I am husband, I am wife, I am son, I am daughter, I am teacher, I am long list. If you don't identify yourself with the body, there is no secondary identification. So because that mind constantly identifies with it, and from that standpoint, we live our life. I am your husband, how dare you? Can you show me where the husband is? Show me. Show me where the husband is. Where the wife is? Show me. Where the wife? If you show me where the husband is, where the wife is, where the son is. I heard a beautiful story that a 16-year-old boy, so he is creating a lot of problems at home, and dad said, I don't know in which day, I gave you the birth. And the son said to the dad, come on dad, I also gave you the birth. Don't tell me anything. I also gave you the birth. And the dad, it's always true, the seniors always have a right to be angry because he is a dad. Socially. So the boy said, Dad, come on, sit. When I was born, 79. So the moment I was born, then only you became dad? Were you dad before that? No. So if I am 16 years old, you are also 16 years old, dad. Am I right? Now tell me, dad and the son died, where the dad has gone. Tell me. My dad has died, where the son has gone. These identifications causes problem, suffering. It is different from my true nature. That is self. So we were answering that question that when Master says that my nature is permanent peace and happiness, but every day I meet contradiction, it is because of these wrong notion, wrong identification. Don't ask your mind to create unwanted questions. It means we should not live together. It's a wrong question. Ask the right question. If you have these questions in your mind. I'm not saying don't live. I'm going to answer that question later. Play your role. Simple answer. When I'm with my wife, label is teacher or husband? Tell me. What is the label here?
Husband.
Husband. So play my role as a husband. But if I squeeze my entire life to play a role of a husband 24/7, even now here, what will happen? What will happen? To me. Suffering. No, he speaks like crazy. Leave it. So what is my role here?
Teacher.
My focus should be to teach. After that, drop the label of a teacher. Live in your essential nature. That is what the real meditation is. Live, move, and act. So last statement, and then we will combine the two practices that we have done yesterday. And we will see what happens. The last statement is that it is the Wrong identification. Who does this wrong identification? The mind. Mind lives in ignorance. Mind lives with the impurities, not the impurities of a religion. We are not talking of sins. We will explain you that what are those impurities. And the third is the distraction, the wavering mind. As long as the mind lives in ignorance with a wrong notion, keeps the identification, we will continue to suffer, we will not succeed in mindfulness. So close your eyes and lie down. We will combine the first two practices that we have done yesterday that will help us to go into a deeper state of relaxation and calmness. First thing, being comfortable, eyes are closed. So it took me 10 minutes to brief what we have done yesterday, and from there after the practice we'll move further. So eyes are closed. First thing, that make yourself totally comfortable. Not sleeping, but the way your body sleeps. Find out that position. But if there is any kind of stretching in the body, the mind will, yes, right, you got it. Message is rightly heard and understood. Yes. So being comfortable, looking at the neck joint, feel the sensation. So you're feeling the sensation and being comfortable and steadiness. May I say you something? Go to every teacher, and if that teacher never teaches you how to be comfortable, remember this step. First, you be comfortable even if the teacher doesn't teach you. Others teach you. I respect everyone. So move the mind on the hip joint. I went deeply into being comfortable yesterday. Move the mind on the knee joints. Your experience should be being comfortable, feeling the sensation, and experience the steadiness. Move the mind on the knee joints. Feel the sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. A sense of steadiness. Sense of steadiness means you are not enforcing any kind of steadiness in the body. You are looking at it, you are feeling, and there is a sensation. You are comfortable. So sensation and being comfortable leads you to a state of steadiness. Another point too, we noted and understood the entire body is comfortable. So I told you that we are going to combine the relaxation mindfulness practice and the self-awareness practice. Why we are combining? That will deepen your practice and enrich your experience. Let us see. Anyone can do even for the first time. So in that state of being comfortable, look inside the heart. Look inside the heart, in the space, and start breathing quick and fast from the chest to release the unconscious material from the mind. Start doing it. Quick, fast. Yes. I want to hear the noise of the expansion and the contraction of the rib cage. Yes, that's good. Continue. 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 Quick and fast, quick and short breath, the way you like to do it. But it should be faster than the normal breath. Yes, any way you like it. I don't mind it. Why? Because we are going to change the mind. Here, continue. 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 You do not stop in the middle, and if the mind says, no, I don't want to do it, please do it. That's why you're here. That is why you're here. You already told me that I'm a teacher as long as I'm teaching you. Continue. Continue. Quick and short breath from the ribs or the belly, doesn't matter. Continue. 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 Go ahead, continue. And now stop this. Take a deep, silent and slow breath. First you inhale into the belly, then into the rib cage. Keep your lips together. While breathing out, looking inside the forehead, start doing the humming sound. Yes, lips remain together. Do it louder, deeper and longer. Take a deep breath first into the belly and the ribs, and lips remain together. Make the sound through the nose. Yeah, you may have a hiccup for first or couple of times, but once you find the rhythm, it is easy to do it. Continue. Louder, deeper and longer. Continue. Keep looking inside the forehead. Continue. Louder, deeper and longer. Stop this humming sound. We'll go to the 4 steps of the relaxation and the mindfulness practice. I told you that we are combining the 2 practice. You remain comfortable in the state of the steadiness, look at the head and the neck. Mind, move the mind on the head and the neck. Now see how the mind perceives. I'll give you an idea of the ignorance. When I say move the mind on the head and the neck, move the mind. So what the mind does? The mind moves the head and the neck. So move the mind on the head and the neck. Feel the sensation and become aware. Move the mind on the right arm. Just feel the sensation and become aware. Move the mind on the left arm. Feel the sensation and just become aware. So when I say you become aware, doesn't mean that you need to move any part of the body. You are understanding that. I appreciate that. I'm using my instructions even who are beginners and who are advanced. It works for both. Move the mind on the chest and the belly. Feel the sensation and become aware. Just an awareness. Who is speaking, you are aware. Same way. No, but I'm not feeling. You are feeling the sound. How do you know I'm giving you the instruction? Feeling, sensation, comes from the sensation. It may be a sensation of sound, sensation of vision, sensation of touch, making everything clear. Move the mind on the right leg, feel the sensation and become aware. Awareness is knowledge. Move the mind on the left leg, feel the sensation and become aware. In advance journey of the meditation, we will pick up one practice later. Awareness, knowledge and experience are synonyms. Move the mind on the entire body. Feel the sensation and become aware. Next step, look at the head and the neck. Experience sensation and the stillness. Move the mind on the right arm. Feel the sensation and experience the stillness. So stillness is effortless. Sensation goes on increasing. That sensation may become tingling, numbness. You may feel as if body is sinking into the floor. It's okay. Rising up, you may have some vision and color, and you may say that you are lost, but you are aware. You know, when you say I'm lost, I'm still aware. I know that I'm lost. That's a good awareness. To move the mind on the chest and the belly. Feel the sensation and become aware. Move the mind on the right leg. Feel the sensation and become aware. Move the mind on the left leg. Feel the sensation and become aware. Move the mind on the entire body. What is your experience? The one is the sensation and the other is the stillness. Simple. And Say to yourself, I'm in peace. I'm in peace. Now, one more point. We should contemplate, that becomes a higher practice. And what should be the contemplation to change the perception of the mind? A very beginner's contemplation. Asatoma satagamaya, moving from the false to the truth, is the journey of awakening to our true nature. But what it means by the false? Just tell your mind that any moment of anxiety, duality and a conflict, stress and a problem, suffering and the pain, all belongs to the false. They are false. Why they are false? Because they are not my essential nature. When you discover your essential nature, the false nature disappears like the darkness when you switch on the light. That is how the Master explains. You need to simply communicate with your mind every day. Simple one principle. Any stress, any moment of discord, any conflict, any confusion, any anxiety and the stress or the fear has to do with the false nature. So what you are doing? You're just maintaining that state of the sensation and stillness. You are experiencing the state of the calmness, but the mind triggers. Mind triggers from the past or for the future or in the present. Once we have contemplated the last step, looking at the breath. The breath is going in and out. You feel the sensation of the breath. There should not be any change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. And now, doing nothing. I always use this phrase in every practice, do nothing. Who does anything? The mind and the intellect. The easiest way to transcend the mind and the intellect and go behind it to find the self is to do nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Bring your mind to the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your closed eyes. Make the palms like a cup, place it on your closed eyes, open the eyes inside your palms, know your experiences, bring the hands down and sit up. Are you nice?
I'm here.
Here, good. I
Good.
even feel 5% relaxation.
I can relax anywhere.
You can relax anywhere, okay. That's really good. That's good to know. How are you, sir?
Present.
Present? Relaxed?
I'm
Calm?
always not. I
Huh?
struggle with relaxation.
Huh?
I'm getting there.
You're struggling to relax? Good to know. I'll talk about it. How about you, Jason?
I'm feeling good, feeling relaxed.
Huh?
Feeling relaxed.
Feeling relaxed. How do you struggle to relax?
It's more of fear, I guess. More.
See that?
It's a long story.
This is a wrong notion we keep in our mind about any event that might have happened in the past. So my mind repeats that. So we create that wrong notion, and that is being repeated. Then the intellect decides what to say. I'm struggling to relax. Are you struggling to sit down? Are you struggling for
No.
sitting?
No, I'm not struggling to sit.
Okay. Are you struggling to looking at me?
No, I'm not struggling to look at you.
I'm picking it up. Just think of it. Reflect on this. When you say I'm struggling to relax. I read one book and but title of that book, you can make it, You Must Relax. You can never relax if the title of the book is You Must. This is what you are saying. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So we have to
To relax. Force myself to relax.
whether you say struggle or must, forget about relaxation. You can struggle to be reactive. You can struggle to be angry. Anger is a struggle. Reaction is a struggle. Duality is a struggle. Pain is a struggle. But relaxation? Now you're getting in there. So yesterday we said there are 4 steps. You see that? Now you can see there is no Hinduism, there is no... Why I told you that I'm neither Hindu nor Buddhist nor Christian. I'm a human being. So the 4 steps, I follow that Eastern wisdom. First is to know the principle. If you don't know how to live into, discover that inner peace and happiness, know the principle. I don't know, let me know it. Second step, I don't understand. So let me understand it. Ask questions, as many questions as you ask. No religion says you not ask any question, follow it. So it's not a religion. It's not a dogma, it's not a belief. Very clear. Be 100% clear at it. That is how the Eastern wisdom moves. The third is, first one, I don't know, now I know it. I don't understand, now I understand it, but I don't experience. So what is the third step? Practice it. Practice it. Then there is the 4th step also. What is the 4th step? Now I experience. I don't change it. So know the principles, how to do the regular practice to bring about a change. That is the 4th step. No, I've done the practice, I don't say it's okay, I have done it 10. Huh? My Indian friends say, oh, you teach meditation. I have practiced meditation 10 years ago. Then I have left it. You see, that will not work. But how long we have to practice? That should also be answered clearly before I move further. Yeah?
Till we pass
Huh?
transitioning or practicing for
How long you learned driving?
30 years?
Huh?
30 years?
After 30 years you got your license? What you're talking?
18, 20, or 19?
You might have spent 10, 20, 30 hours. Yeah? In order to learn driving, and you then pass the written examination. But can you recall those 20 hours of learning driving was a passion? You put 100%. What's a passion? Right? Right? Passion. Are you passionate to succeed in meditation? It will not even take 20 hours. 100%? Not even 20 hours. 50%? Your passion is, it will take minimum 6 months. 25% passion? Minimum 2 years. Less than that, God knows. I have answered clearly. Now, there are certain principles, David, so I'm not revealing that, I'm just giving you that. So now question came that my life meets contradiction every day. When I say myself is of the nature of infinite happiness, continuous, it cannot be undone. But I don't live into that state 24/7. So we understood yesterday the mind lives in ignorance. So that brings us the teachings of this master who says Manohi Devidham Proktam. Every couplet has 4 parts. So we will understand, then we will go to the practice. So Eric, be sure that I don't know anything. That's why I refer these texts. So Manohi Devidham Proktam Shuddham cha Shuddhameva cha Ashuddham Kama Sankalpam Shuddham Kama Vivarjitam. He says that mind is of 2 types. First line, mind is of 2 types. What are those 2 types? Eric, can you guess?
Conscious and subconscious.
I knew that. You're going to say that. But these masters says with reference to the discovery of the self. It may be conscious, it may be subconscious, it may be semi-conscious, it may be superconscious. We all have different classification in the modern psychology with reference to Lara knows it, with reference to abnormal mind, anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, then only we can classify, oh, it is coming from subconscious. Let us go for psychoanalysis. CBT. And there are other stuff. What we say, this master is saying with the reference to how to discover the self. So that with that reference he says mind is of 2 types, pure and impure. Not related to sin. I'm coming. So impure mind is caused by the desire and projection of happiness. That is the meaning of the 3rd line. Ashuddham Kama So when the pure mind is devoid of it, that pure mind is transparent and it reflects my true nature. I live in peace and happiness 24/7. But the problem comes, what is this desire and projection? We need to open up. What is desire? Jason? Yeah? Clear? So what is desire? So desire has two elements. Why we have desire? Because I feel a sense of incompleteness within myself. Otherwise you cannot have desire. Think of it. I feel a sense of incompleteness. There is no fulfillment, Eric, inside. Who does this? Mind. First the mind says a sense of incompleteness. Then what the mind does? Mind says, in order to have that completeness, let me find a person or an object or a place or a car or a pasta. Do you understand that? Be very clear how those masters are teaching. That is how I'm giving one explanation. Desire, first thing, incompleteness. Right? So the intellect has to work to complete. The intellect has to run, or the mind has to run, to have a feeling of completeness. So where he finds the sense of completeness? Outside. You are the love of my life, and after a few years you are the hate of my life. Understand our own mind. And I can tell you it happens with every human being. Did I not tell you yesterday, that Eastern wisdom is a common knowledge. What is common knowledge? It applies to everyone. Who didn't feel that sense of incompleteness? And who did not try? Who did not try for completeness outside? Tell me.
No one.
It's a common knowledge. That is the beauty of this Eastern wisdom. You cannot have that common knowledge in science. Clear? Sense of incompleteness. So my mind runs after the things and the people and the objects. Some people find the completeness in pasta. Other finds in a women and man. Third finds in bath. Fourth finds in something else. And what is the result?
Suffering.
Why the suffering? Because the moment the mind goes outside in order to grab or fulfill the desire, that mind projects happiness there. Subconsciously, it already has projected happiness. Question comes, can that happiness is present in the things outside? What dish, what food you like? Pasta, pizza, chicken?
Yes.
Now anyone.
Yes.
All food.
All food?
Pretty much.
I should not say anything nasty.
I don't like mushrooms.
When you say he likes everything.
He pretty much likes all
Very
food.
good. What food you like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. And what you like?
I like fish, salmon.
So fish then. Fish and chocolate. So your mind is projecting that happiness in the chocolate. The happiness is not in the chocolate. The happiness is not in the fish. Now see, If the happiness in the chocolate is definitely there, you are sure about it, then we should all like chocolate. How simple it is. If the happiness is there in the fish, then we all must like fish. That is not the case. So when the mind moves outside in search of the happiness, by default, it likes certain thing, it dislikes certain thing. With a liking, it creates and projects happiness where the happiness is not. What our master says. Where you see the happiness in the beginning, in the material world, it follows pain afterwards. That is how I explain soulmate and sourmate. First dating, soulmate, and then sourmate. Now, if you change the mind, then what will happen? If you change your mind, then what will happen? No soulmate. Mind is living. It is working in building the relationship. It expresses the harmony and the happiness in that relationship. Free. To help the mind to reach to that state is meditation and mindfulness. I have to cover that part also. What did you tell? Future? Oh, fear of future. Remember, briefly I have to touch and then we will go for another practice. It is the mind that desires and projects happiness, divides time into past, present, and the future. Again, I am repeating. Remember all the time. There is no past and present and the future. It is only the mind that is desiring happiness outside, divides the time into past, present, and future. Did you get it? So concluded, the mind that has a desire and projecting happiness, it has already divided the time into the past, present, and the future. Go a little deeper. The mind is always concerned, always thinks, and always sad about the past. Why? There are a lot of regrets. What about the present? We compare the present. So the comparison also brings lot of pain. And the future brings the worries. What is a worry? That includes fear. Worry is a problem in the future that does not exist. One of them is fear. Worry is a problem experienced by the mind that does not exist. Because future does not exist. Future does not exist. So 3 divisions of time by the mind seeking something other than me. Seeking, that's why it is running outside. Seeking, this mind is seeking something other than me. Where? Outside. Projecting happiness. Where it is not. Where it is not. Divides the time. Tomorrow I will have it. Yesterday I did not had it. Today let me struggle. It comes to you. to let me struggle. Do you struggle to sleep?
Yeah, I have,
What? Change your mind.
no, just post-traumatic stress and,
Post-traumatic, yeah.
yeah, I was in the army and,
Yeah, I could see, my friend, I can tell you that if you change these wrong notion and the wrong thinking, that returns to the mind again and again and again.
I had a burglar break in my house a few years
Huh?
ago. A burglar,
Burglar?
bad guy got in the house.
Oh, bad guy, okay,
I
yeah.
kind of fought him and,
So now you're thinking that there should not be any burglar in the future.
no, I'm thinking there's always a burglar. Somebody's on the way.
My
They're
goodness.
getting ready to, they're coming in. And,
Then I will extend my services to you personally, and one has to understand. But one principle is there, the mind projecting happiness outside by seeking something other than me causes lot of problem. 99% of the problem comes from there. So that needs to be opened up, understood clearly, and followed by the practice. This struggle comes to an end. I have a sense of completeness within, right? Self is complete. My true nature inside is there. Can you hold on to that thought when there comes a thought of struggle, of a burglar, of a fear, struggle to sleep? So our psychology, positive psychology, is totally different. You have a choice. You continue to think about burglar, or you continue to throw the thought of a burglar outside your head and declaring that the self is my essential nature, which is always in peace and happiness, and see what happens in a minute. So first we have to remove the wrong notion. We have to understand clearly, we have to remove the doubt. So once that doubt is removed, the intellect has a conviction, and then you do the practice, the result is tremendous. Do you still have a thought of burglar now? Now.
oh, right now?
Right now.
No, we're safe here.
Sit, close your eyes. Follow my thought pattern in the practice. Okay? He is wonderful, It's really wonderful. So eyes are closed. So we are doing the Shanti meditation. There is another way, another approach to practice Shanti meditation. And if you follow the 5 steps of Shanti meditation, again, you're passionate, you put 50%, you put 25%, and below 25%. Teacher has no role. That is why this Eastern wisdom, this teaching has made the teacher totally free of all the responsibilities, provided you should be well versed with the teaching. So eyes are closed. You're comfortable. So first we prepare with the same fashion. Look at the neck joint, feel the sensation, being comfortable and steady. The mind moves to the shoulder joints, you feel the sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Move the mind on the neck joint, feel the sensation. When I say feel the sensation, it is casual and natural. You are aware, you're looking at the neck joint, you look at the hip joint and you feel the sensation. Because it is perfectly aligned, so you experience the sensation, comfortable and steadiness. Knee joints, feel the sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. The entire body. Entire body feeling the sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. So introducing another preparatory step, which I say carefree. What is being carefree? Free from all the cares. And who does the care? To you, if you think someone else does the care to you out from outside, forget about it. It is your mind, it is your habit, it is your wrong notion, it is the past impression, it is your habit that cares you. In terms of the thoughts and the feeling and the sensation. So, how to give a proper treatment to that mind which is constantly agitating, triggering the thoughts from the past, present, and the future? One simile, you stand across a road watching the traffic moving on each lane. You're standing across a road, you are witnessing. You're not a part of the moving traffic. Same way, any thought comes and goes, feeling comes and goes, they are part of the traffic. And you are behind that traffic, watching these thoughts coming and going. That is the key to being carefree. And what needs to be done? Nothing. You just witness. Are you not witnessing that we all are in this studio following the practice? Yes. So what it has to do with anyone and everyone, including you? Nothing. You simply know it. So when you know these thoughts are coming and going, it may be a thought of burgling, it is simply a thought, you are behind the thought. It may be a struggle for fear, you are behind that thought. It may be a thought of discomfort in the body, but you are behind the thought. It is a step, it is a practice of knowledge. Knowledge practice doesn't need any time. It will work. So we discussed that the goal of meditation is self-discovery, and that self or our true nature is behind and beyond the mind. In order to go behind the mind, we have to move the mind inside. We should consciously experience the mind is living within. And once it lives within, we leave the mind at that point. Why? To awaken within. And we'll be doing that in 5 steps, which I call Shanti Meditation Level 1. There are 5 levels. And I'll pick up the second level tomorrow. So first is understand, and then we will go into the practice. Understanding is 90% of the practice, and too many. So it goes through the different stages. Yeah, we will take up one. I remember ka. Sukha. Are you aware of dukkha? Buddha says dukkha is pain, pain and pain. Huh? Sukha, dukkha. Dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. The entire world is suffering, suffering, suffering. So whose mind thinks like this has PTSD. So change your thinking.
I don't have PTSD.
I like it. That's a very positive state of counseling.
Who is I?
I love you. That's really good. Dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. Can you experience what exactly is happiness? Can I define it? Can I have a sense of it? No, we simply say when there is nothing, there is no PTSD, there is no anxiety, we say it is happiness. So now understand, always remember this and do the practice. So dukkha means suffering and sukha means happiness. In Sanskrit and also in Pali. Kha. So prefix is different, suffix is same. Dukkha, sukha. So I told you the Sanskrit language where the sound and the symbol goes together, not like English. Sound and symbol, beauty, beauty. It sounds different. But so ka means space, infinite space. When that space is realized with thoughts, feelings, sensation, people, it is dukkha. When there is only a space, mind realizes, only space, infinite space, you can never have any stress in the suffering. Forget about PTSD is too far. What did I say? Now reverse this. Apply this knowledge. Apply this. How to apply this knowledge? Anytime you have anxiety, stress or duality or a conflict, what the mind should do? Imagine, feel, think of the infinite space. Whether with eyes closed or open, just look. Take your mind to the space higher and higher, above the clouds, into the sky, into the galaxy and see what happens. Sukha, David, Kha. Kha is a space. So when you say dukkha, du means bad. Always full of lot of stuff. When your room is full of all the stuff unorganized, how do you feel that? What about the mind? So deep inside, my friend, your mind is constantly singing, I have PTSD, I have PTSD. Remove that.
Done.
Wrong thinking. So I'll take up two more verses before we. So the first verse, are you clear? The mind are of two types, pure and impure. With reference to the self. Don't tell your psychotherapist or a mental health counselor. They will say, are you crazy? They don't know they are crazy. They will do. Sorry. No, because the reference point is the different. Whereas the pure and impure reference point is the self and the non-self. So when there is a mind is impure, it picks up the non-self as a self, and that causes the problem. So when the mind is pure, it takes the self as a self, and the self is always full of peace and happiness. We have a valid point for argument. So now see that, now in the second verse it says that the mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of freedom. When the mind is the cause of bondage, when it lives in ignorance, when it identifies with the non-self, when it has the impurities of desire and the projection we have already done. Now see that mind does not know anything, it is not aware. No, you are not aware. Let me rephrase it. You are not aware, the mind is looking for happiness or projecting happiness in the things outside. Right? You are not conscious, you are not aware of it. But the mind is doing its own work. Right? What will happen to the mind? Can I give you an example? Simple example. You are driving a car. Which car you are driving? Correct?
In my fantasy example?
Yeah. You got it. That's what I wanted to tell you. You are already there. In fantasy means the mind is already projecting that happiness. Yes. I need not to explain. In reality, you have a different car. Fantasy, you have different. Then we have labeled it as fantasy. So what about car? There can be anything, any person. I'm not going there. You can express it. Don't look at luck.
I'm happy with that.
So again I'm saying, remember this will be very important. I am not aware how my mind is moving out and projecting happiness not only in one thing, but in hundred of things, of people, places, object. When I'm driving, I look at the car of fantasy. One thing, right? Now you are on a red light and you look at, oh, that handsome guy, really good, like me. Oh, beautiful girl, No, I'm not going there, but the mind continues to move like this. What is this? This is a wavering mind. This is what we say, unfocused, distracted mind. So what caused the distraction? Now ask the question, what causes the distraction? My desire, which is seeking others and projecting happiness. That is why the mind is distracted. How can the mind will distract? When you are already discovered that happiness within. So there is a huge space where you have millions of desires. And the mind is moving into that. That is the third. That is why the mind is distracted. Otherwise, why the mind should distract? Let the tiger come in front of you and distract your mind. Because of the extreme fear, you cannot distract your mind. Your focus will be how to get rid of it. Right? you are obsessed with an object for pleasure, your mind is not distracted until you have that object. So that is why it says mind is the cause of bondage. What is bondage? Suffering. What the suffering does? It causes pain, affliction, anxiety, stress, reaction, fight, anger, long list. To refer all the problems, when I was doing masters in psychology, so I had a book, 1500 pages. The title was Abnormal Cycles. More than 5,000 illnesses. Abnormal cycle. 5,000. And when you read every page after completing the book, your mind says at least you are suffering from 10. Now, I'm not criticizing, but that is, you start comparing your mind. And if you read this, oh, yes, I'm in peace. Yes, here is this peace. I felt it. Yesterday I was there. This is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom, my friend. There is only peace. There is no PTSD. So you see the second, the mind is the cause of the bondage, mind is the cause of freedom. Right? Right, so I will take the third and the fourth verse tomorrow, but I have yet to talk about something very interesting to work on it. 5 minutes of practice, minimum 5 to 10 times before, if we happen to meet tomorrow. Only 5 minutes. Topic is mind is working on you or you are working on the mind. Pain. Is mind working on me or I am working on the mind? I am working on the mind or mind is working on me? And I changed it after 5 minutes. Tell me, mind is working on me and I am working on the mind.
Mine is working in.
Mind is working on me. That is the cause of my suffering. Mind says, for example, the mind says, I hate you. So mind becomes I and it says, I hate you. Mind is working on me or I am working on the mind. When I am working on the mind, what to do with the hate and love? Why? Mind, are you crazy? Stop this nonsense. Look at it. What I will get? What is the fun? Ask yourself, what is the fun of having a fantasy car? Mind is working on you or you are working on the mind? Ask yourself. Mind is carried away by the desires and the projection of the happiness. When your mind is working on you, then only you have PTSD. When you are working on the mind, how dare the PTSD can enter into you? How dare? When the mind is working on you, then only you have regrets. Then only still the burglar can come at any time. Then only you have the worries about the future. Just see, change that pattern. Instantly become aware and alert. How? We become aware and alert while driving. Oh, crazy, I don't live it. Don't we do that? You don't do that?
I don't get crazy with crazy people.
You do sometimes.
Not like you.
You and you.
I just ignore
You and now the reference point is mind is working on me or I am working on the mind. Is one of many subject matters of breath mindfulness. Even if I'm not smart, keep looking at me. Keep looking at me. Now your eyes are looking at me, let the mind look at your breath. Is that possible? Yes. Yeah. Keep looking at the breath. Who looks at the breath? Mind. One part of the mind coming through the eyes looking at me. There is two-pointed approach. That we will talk tomorrow, but I'm giving the practice. So anytime, anywhere, you keep looking at me and keep your mind on the breath. Keep looking at me and keep your mind on the breath. You need not to be serious. You can keep a smile on the face also. I need not to tell. Just do it. So what will happen? When you consciously allow the mind to perform two activities at the same time with awareness, you know what it means by you can work on the mind. Not the mind can work on you. So now when you are looking at the breath, are you feeling your breath? Feeling the breath?
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling my breath or your breath?
My breath.
Oh, that's good. No, I have to be sure about it. No, one person in KC studio told, no, I feel your breath. I said, okay, you're great. Are you looking at me? Yes. Are you feeling the breath that is going in and out? Now when you sustain that, you will know, you will discover how to work on the mind. How to work on the mind. So think and contemplate before we will meet tomorrow what it means by working on the mind, working on the mind, and what it means the mind is working on me. Just for 5 minutes, become aware. No, I'll not sleep. Let me wait. Don't tell anyone in the house, otherwise, you're watching the TV, yes. Keep watching. Bring your awareness on the breath. Bring your awareness on the breath. So when the mind is working on you, what will happen? The mind will take you to the journey of the past. Are you getting it? It will take you to the journey of the past. Whether it is a pleasure or a pain, or a duality or a conflict, anything. Mind by default will choose anything. Huh? So you allow the mind to choose that, you will suffer. My master used to say that there is a difference between a child holding the hand of a dad or the dad is holding the hand of a child. It appears same. Outside it appears same. The walking is the same. So when you work on the mind, the existence holds you in your lap. You have no fear. The fear always is in the mind. Problem is always in the mind. Suffering is always in the mind. That is the message of the another verse. Are you getting it? Eric, am I right? You have to approve it, then only everything will be right. 50-50?
I can boil it into simpler terms. It's mind over matter.
Mind over matter. And what is mind? Is mind is not matter?
Just control your mind. You're controlling it. You control your emotions. You control your thoughts.
Yeah,
You control
yeah,
your
yeah.
desires.
Yeah, so that control has led to many misunderstandings. Is it suppression? Is it repression? Is it reaction? We have to kill our desires or not? So when we say that we have to work on the mind, let the mind work, we check the mind where it is going, we understand, is it projecting happiness? Say for example, is it projecting happiness going to the restroom? No. It's not a desire. Let me go, finish. So there what happens, you separate need from the desire. So when you start controlling, the other stuff enters into your mind. So here we are working on the mind. So what our master says, the existence takes care of you. Nobody knew me about 13 years ago. It was a tough decision. I was thrown by the destiny in this country. I would say it was destiny. I never planned, I never organized to be here. But if you continue to work on the mind, that very existence, that is what I say, the self reveals itself and it helps you. At least one thing is sure, it may not help you to earn $1 million, it always helps you to live in peace and happiness. That's totally a different matter. That's totally different issue. It helps you to live in inner calm and peace and happiness, love and the rest. So 5 minutes, either with eyes open. With eyes open, pick up any object. Are you watching TV? Yes, it's okay. Go ahead. Are you in front of your computer? It's okay. But the second part of the mind should return to the breath. So what will happen? The first focus on the object will tell you if the mind is taking over you or not. You will recognize. Two-pointed approach. Two-pronged approach. Two-pronged approach. It happens by default. Lane driving. Oh, no. Oh, this wheel has turned there. Two-pronged approach, you see that? It happens by default. Habitually we are doing it. But when you do it consciously, it changes your mind. Then mind doesn't become the master. And the mind is not master, should I say it again? No PTSD.
The mind is not master, no PTSD.
If the mind is the master, there is problem. You become the master of the mind, but master of the mind does not mean suppression, repression, control. No. Can you think of it? That I will take up tomorrow. What exactly means taking over the mind? Just to give the last reference, Eric, in our Eastern wisdom, we say mind is a very subtle matter. The subtlest matter of all. If I say the mind borrows the consciousness from the self and then it becomes alive. See, from the standpoint of two waves, David, pay attention, two waves in an ocean. One wave is different from the second wave. The first wave has a different shape and the size than the other wave. So is when our consciousness, when the mind borrows the consciousness, when the mind becomes the body, then we say, Eric is different from me. I'm more intelligent than. And then David says something, then you say something. We always have differences. Right? Right? Now when you live with a standpoint of an ocean, what happens? Everything changes in your life. When you live from the standpoint of view of an ocean, that I'm an ocean, not a wave, then what happens? From deeper inside you see, all waves are the same. What is the difference? You may have a real car or a fantasy car. What difference it makes? Then the third point. Can ocean exist without water? Or water without an ocean? Which one is true? First water or first ocean?
Water.
First water. That water is the self. Water makes an ocean makes a wave. So the first point of view, if I am the wave, I will continue to have problem. When I am an ocean, instantly I see everyone, same stuff. But when I am water, I realize my true nature. That is the state of meditation. Can there be wave without water? So water is an essence. Can there be an ocean without water? So water is an essence. But we always talk about, let us go to the beach. Eric.
It's not just the water.
It is
It's
just
the sand.
It is?
It's the sunset. It's the sand. It's the rocks. It's the wind. It's the birds. It's the fish.
And these are at the outer level. The wave is at the outer level. The waves rises and falls. Wave may exist or may not.
I didn't choose a wave, did I?
And its existence is very short-lived. Ocean existence is also short-lived. The water cannot be changed. So what cannot be changed is the true self, and the discovery of that true self is the success in meditation. Discovery of that true self. Now it is the same self expressing through the mind, expressing through this body. Body may live today or may not. Sunset may be. You cannot have sunset early in the morning or in the midnight. But consciousness, that self still exists. That I can see the sunset, that I can see the ocean, that I still is present. And that I is the self, and discovery of that I is nothing but meditation. Which cannot be changed. That is eternal. That is everlasting. Sense organ borrows the consciousness from the mind to see you. The mind borrows the consciousness from inside to think about you. The intellect borrows the consciousness from inside to know about you. Consciousness never borrows anything from anyone. Independent existence. independent. Water is same everywhere. That is one simile. Water is same everywhere. Water is the essence that makes an ocean, that makes a flood in the river, that makes a tsunami, that makes a wave, but water is the essence. And discovery of that water or that self is you succeed in meditation. That is all. Thank you very much for tolerating me for today. We'll do it tomorrow. Good?
Thank you.
Yeah.